Good morning, everybody. Let's start for the dictation for SSC and D grade as well as the Supreme Court target more than 100 speed. The first dictation will be dictated to you with the target of 110 speed. The objective to obtain the speed of your more than 100 plus to target the exam of SSC Supreme Court at the read speed of 100 word per minute and to target the speed of C grade in SSC more than 100 word per minute. Sometimes we get the fluctuations in exams, so you have to focus on it. If you are comfortable with that speed, definitely you are easily crack your exam, and my best wishes with you. In the second dictation, I will dictate you at the speed of 100 word per minute and the target will be 1000 plus word. In the first dictation, my target will be to 1240 word per minute. 1240 word with the speed of 110 word per minute. And the last one, I will dictate you with the speed of 80 word per minute. The target will be D grade or any exam which have the speed 80 word per minute. And the dictated word will be more than 800 word plus. Thank you. Let's start it. Ready? Start. Sir, a number of important developments have taken place after the close of the budget session of this parliament. 7 weeks have passed since the government took the difficult and even painful decision to devalue the rupee. I am keenly aware that there are some misgivings in the minds of some honorable members about this decision and about the economic policies of the government in general. That is why I am now taking this opportunity to share my thoughts with you, sir, and to benefit by the counsel and criticism of honorable members on both sides of the house. I shall listen carefully to what honorable members have to say, and I hope I shall have an opportunity towards the end of the discussion to respond to the suggestions made and sentiments expressed in this august house. A supplement to the economic survey has been prepared and is being circulated to honorable members. Recent trends in the economy have been outlined in the supplement, and I do not intend to take much time of the house in going over the same ground, but I would like to recapitulate at the outset some of the salient developments in the Indian economy in recent years. Sir, when I presented the budget early this year, I had occasion to say that in many ways the year that was then drawing to a close had been a very difficult one. On the latest reckoning, agricultural production declined by nearly 15% in 2005-6. Industrial production increased by only 3% and total national income in real terms declined by about 4%. It is now not surprising that in the face of such a sharp reduction in real resources, price increased by as much as 15% in 1 year and exports declined marginally in spite of growing assistance to them. We had to tighten import restrictions further even in respect of essential raw materials and components. In the meanwhile, our repayment obligations were rising steadily so that we had to borrow $187 million from the International Monetary Fund last April. In a sense, the difficulties that we have been experiencing of late began to gather momentum towards the middle of the 10th plan period. The rate of growth of the economy in the 10th plan was a very modest one. During 2003-4 and again in 2004-5, there was a spurt in both industrial and agricultural production, and national income in real terms increased by nearly 13% in these 2 years. There were also signs towards the middle of the 10th plan period of a distinct improvement in the balance of payments, both as a result of the increase in exports and greater utilization of external aid. An unprecedented effort was made in the 2003-4 budget to raise additional resources to meet the challenge of defense and development, and efforts to mobilize additional resources were continued both during 2004-5 and 2005-6. In any event, however, these efforts did not prove adequate to meet the additional demands arising from the expenditure on defense and development. Prices began to rise towards the middle of 2003, and the trend which started then has continued more or less uninterrupted till now. The increase in exports which was witnessed during the first 3 years of the plan could not be sustained, and both during 2004-5 and 2005-6 our balance of payments remained under heavy pressure. Government responded to these mounting difficulties both by corrective measures in the short run as well as by long-term measures designed to improve the basic health of the economy. At a time when production had actually fallen, the pressure of demand on the economy could not be reduced to any significant extent by additional mobilization of resources. Our immediate response to the difficult economic situation, therefore, was that both agriculture and industry should be, as a matter of highest priority, accelerated. It was only on the basis of an early increase in production that we could seek to solve our manifold problems in a constructive and forward-looking manner. At the same time, every effort was made in the last budget to contain both plan and non-plan expenditure so as to reduce the pressure on the economy. In the short run, we had to take steps to import food grains as well as to import more fertilizers and other raw materials essential for agriculture so as to give a decisive push to agricultural production in the current session. As I explained in my budget speech, it was the view of the government that despite the difficult foreign exchange situation, it would be self-defeating to maintain the severity of our import restrictions. Mr. Chairman, I would like to make certain observations with regard to this bill, especially about the cooperative societies in Tripura. We are all in support of this bill because I think this amendment, or rather this repealing law, is necessary in view of the changed conditions there. But then it appears that the problems of the cooperative organizations and societies in these areas or states, Tripura and Manipur, cannot be solved merely by having a uniform set of cooperative laws. Laws are very important, and in that respect, certain changes are undoubtedly called for. Here, sir, I would like the government to take note of certain things which are there at the moment in order that they may take steps to improve them. First of all, I should like to point out that in the tribal areas, especially among the tribal people of Tripura, there is great need for expansion and development of cooperative societies. It appears that about 70%, according to my information, of the population are to be included or brought within the range of the cooperative societies. At the moment, cooperative societies are very few and they are not functioning well. Somehow or other, the bulk of the people have been left out of these cooperative societies. The most important function that the cooperative societies fulfill at the moment is, of course, the provision of rural credit, and there is no doubt that this is an important aspect of the work of the cooperative societies and that has to be expanded. At present, people do not get adequate relief or rural credit through the agencies of cooperative societies, and so they remain more or less the victims of the traditional money lenders of the countryside. Tripura or Manipur is no exception to the general rule that is prevalent in this regard. Therefore, it is important that the cooperative societies should be provided with adequate funds so that the credit needs of the people, especially of the very downtrodden people in the tribal areas, are adequately and promptly met. Next, about the management of the cooperative societies, I have to say that most of these societies are not run well. It seems that there is a lot of bureaucratic interference from the top, whereas the initiative at the bottom is not yet developed for the success of the cooperative movement in our country. देखो जो एक कंटेंट बोला गया आपको 387 388 से बोला गया है 1240 वर्ड है, इसके अंदर प्रॉम्प्टली से पहले एक जगह पे दोबारा से वर्ड ऐड ऑन किया गया है, आप उसको मेंशन कर लेंगे। एक साथ में जो है 800 वर्ड के आसपास में सीजन था, सेशन प्रोनाउंस किया गया है। साथ में इसी के साथ कंटिन्यू करते एज ए आई कर दिया गया है, एज आई था। आप जो बोला गया आप वही टाइप करेंगे क्योंकि आप यहीं से चेक कर सकते हो इसको, एंड आप इन सब चीज़ों को प्रॉपरली 3 या 4 मिस्टेक्स को इसको जो मैंने आपको बता दी गई है इसमें प्रोनाउंसिएशन के साथ में है, आप अपने आप को लेकर इसको हेजिटेट नहीं होंगे कि आपने सीजन की जगह सेशन टाइप कर दिया है, तो वो ठीक टिक करेंगे आप। और साथ में एज और आई के बीच में ए पुट किया है, तो जो डिक्टेट किया है आप वही कंटिन्यू करेंगे। नेक्स्ट, इसकी स्पीड आपकी बता देता हूँ मैं आपको, टोटली स्पीड कितनी है इसकी। हंड्रेड 105 प्लस स्पीड है, 105 से ऊपर की स्पीड है। फ्लक्चुएशन 110 तक का गई है और नीचे फ्लक्चुएशन 100 तक की रही होगी। एवरेज ऑन एन एवरेज 105 की स्पीड आपकी। नेक्स्ट कंटेंट आप लिखेंगे, रेडी, स्टार्टेड। Mr. Chairman, the subject matter of this bill is very interesting in the sense that it deals with certain institutions, and industrial arrangements that have got a long history. In this country, there are many institutions, organizations, and religious endowments that were created as a result of the prevalence of the caste system and the organization of our community on a religious basis. These organizations and institutions were called upon to perform certain functions which we today associate with the welfare state. There was a time, sir, in the history of our nation when it was these religious organizations and institutions that undertook to discharge certain functions like imparting education to those who were not in a position either to pay for that education or were not in a position to go to the educational institutions for certain family reasons, in order that the bright young men and women could be helped in pursuing their studies. It was found necessary that the religious organizations should step in by giving scholarships to the people belonging to a particular community or to a particular caste, and by helping the families of those persons who were thus engaged in educational pursuits during the period that they were so engaged. Similarly, when the poor families were not in a position to make two ends meet, the same religious endowments and other institutions and organizations stepped in to help these families. In this way, a large number of activities were undertaken by these charitable organizations and institutions at a time when the state was not prepared to undertake these responsibilities on its own shoulder. The question that now arises is whether we have reached a stage wherein it is possible for the state to step in and to undertake these very activities, so that these religious organizations and institutions might not have to perform those functions. Connected therewith is also the question of whether the government should give its patronage of these organizations and institutions, or whether the government should allow these organizations and institutions to function on their own. The bill only deals with the second part of the question, but the determination of the issue depends to a very great extent on what we consider to be our answer to the first part also. It is now well known that we have adopted the principle of the welfare state, and that we now look up to the state to go to the help of the needy citizen in some of his needs that are so very urgent and important, and the fulfillment of which is considered to be so necessary from the point of view not only of the welfare of the individual, but of the stability of the community also, and it is on this principle that we expect the state to undertake and discharge these functions. Therefore, it is desirable that the religious institutions and organizations are discouraged as far as possible from undertaking these obligations because of the fact that the need of the citizen has nothing to do with the caste or the religion to which he belongs. He needs arise out of the fact that he is a human being, that he is circumscribed by a certain situation and handicapped up to a point whereby it is not possible for him to satisfy his needs in the normal way, and therefore he looks up to the state to come to his help. Because of the fact that his needs arise from his being an individual and citizen of the country, it is desirable that his needs are satisfied in a manner whereby he is considered as a human being and a citizen of this country, and not as a person belonging to any particular caste or religion or religious organization. That is the reason why it is desirable that these religious organizations and institutions should be discouraged from discharging these functions, because as long as these institutions and organizations carry on these functions, the consciousness of belonging to a particular caste or to a particular community remains very much alive. If I belong to a particular caste or to a particular community, and if I have been helped by an organization belonging to that caste, it is but natural that if I am later on placed in such favorable circumstance, my gratitude demands that I in my turn help the people belonging to my own community and to my own caste. In this way, the consciousness of caste and community persists, which we have now begun to realize has done untold harm to our country. We want to see that this compartmentalization of our society into castes and communities should go. The consciousness of belonging to a particular caste or to a particular community should be replaced by the consciousness of belonging to the nation as a whole, so that the emotional integration of the nation could be speeded up. Because of this consciousness, it is also desirable that religious organizations and institutions should be discouraged from undertaking these functions. ये 840 वर्ड है, 218 नंबर बोली है, इसकी स्पीड 90 के आसपास तक रखी गई है। एक्चुअल स्पीड मैं आपको बता देता हूँ इसकी। एटी 5 प्लस स्पीड है, 86 87 के आसपास की स्पीड है ऑन एन एवरेज। अगर आपने ये अच्छा लिखा तो आप टाइप कर सकते हो, देख सकते हो आप कहाँ स्टे कर रहे हो। आप नेक्स्ट स्टेशन लिखेंगे लेस स्पीड पे। इसके अंदर भी फुल स्टॉप का प्रॉपर ध्यान दिया गया है, कोई मिस्टेक्स नहीं है, प्रोनाउंसिएशन प्रॉपर किए गए हैं। कोई चीज़ अगर आपको मिस हियरिंग हुआ है तो आप अपने आप से जो आपने लिखा है वही टाइप करेंगे। रेडी, स्टार्ट इट। सर, coming from the south, we are very happy that after a prolonged struggle, after a good deal of suffering by the people, and after several movements have been conducted by the people's representatives, Pondicherry has become one with us, though not still according to law. It is gratifying to know that the people of Pondicherry and the surrounding French settlements are very happy about their being reunited with the motherland, and it is in the fitness of things that the government of India has come and asked for sanction of expenditure there. With regard to Pondicherry and other French settlements in the south, what the government of India has been doing and what the Chief Commissioner has been doing have won the approval of all sections of the people. Pondicherry has been going through very difficult times, and there have been uncertain political conditions for the past so many months, and it is really surprising how the law and order situation has been so successfully tackled, and how the people after a very long time have been assured of perfect law and order in that area. Pondicherry has been notorious for the disturbances, and in the past 2 months the situation worsened because of lack of cooperation between the administration and the people, and it is after a very long spell of time that the people of Pondicherry are enjoying a stable government. The government of the day and the Chief Commissioner have been doing their best to establish perfect and cordial relations between all sections of the people. The Chief Commissioner is also trying to give the people of Pondicherry a perfect democratic setup. So, it is not true to say that he has been doing things which are not in the interests of the people or which are not conducive to democratic functioning of institutions there. All the political parties which have been openly siding for the merger have been recognized, and it is with them that we have to get along till elections are held in Pondicherry, till a final decision is made by the people whether they would be with the Indian Union or not. Till then, the government of India have done a good thing in nominating people's representatives to official positions so that there may be better collaboration between the people and the government. It has also been said that they have provided enough money for carrying out ordinary repairs and also for medical facilities and other amenities that are necessary to the people of the place. I would like to refute the allegation that the government have been partial to one political parties and are trying to dominate other political parties which also worked for the freedom of the people. The government have been taking a non-partisan attitude and have recognized the claims of the people. It is the people who have to finally decide, and the people's representatives have been given the recognition. All the political parties which were working for the merger of Pondicherry with the Indian Union have been recognized, and the predominant political party of the day which did contribute greatly to the merger movement has been given recognition, and that has the approval of the people. Moreover, it is untrue to say that the police is trying to dominate and is trying to force the people to submit by the use of buoyants and arms. The police is there to protect the people against the onslaught by undesirable elements in the area. So, the police are doing a very difficult but a responsible job, and the people of Pondicherry have no complaint, and most sections in the settlement fully support the move of the government. Pondicherry will be with us soon, and we hope that the people of Pondicherry will vote for the merger of Pondicherry territory with our own. It was said that at Pondicherry and other places, certain political parties which worked for the liberation movement have been ignored, and that they are being suppressed. It is not so. All the political parties except the Indian National Congress, which was having a branch there, were formerly with the French government, and they did not want freedom. In the past 2 months, they voted for the merger. Actually, the de jure transfer of power from the French administration. Today, Pondicherry is able to get along well with the other sections of the people, and the people have welcomed the merger with great relief. It was the people who were suffering. It was the common man. It was the worker. It was the ordinary people who had to depend on the mainland for the supply of necessities. They were put to a lot of difficulty before, and now they have got almost all the necessities of life supplied to them at a very reasonable cost. Now, there is free movement of these essential things, and the people of Pondicherry are very happy about it. ये आपको 820 के आसपास वर्ड डिक्टेट किए गए हैं, 93 नंबर है, 80 की स्पीड है, फुल स्टॉप वगैरह का प्रॉपर गैप दिया गया है, कोई मिस्टेक्स नहीं है, आप प्रॉपर इसको टाइप करेंगे अगर आपने अच्छा लिखा है। अदरवाइज सेम कंटेंट कहूँगा कि आप जो है, जो बच्चे ऐसा अभी महसूस कर रहे हैं कि नहीं हम नहीं लिख पा रहे हैं, उनके लिए सजेशन है कि आप जो तैयार करके लेके आओ, उधर बैठो डिक्टेशन रूम में, जहाँ पे स्पीकर लगा हुआ है आप वहाँ पर डिक्टेशन लिखेंगे। थैंक यू।